Hey guys, how you doing? This is Arturo, Fixers Automotive. Sorry I haven't had a chance to post a video in the past couple weeks. We've had a lot of changes here at the shop and moving somewhere else and all the other good stuff. So, trying to make a couple videos for you guys. Put together probably 2 or 3 videos. Hopefully today we'll release them here next couple of days. So the first one on the list today, we have a 2010 Lincoln MKX. So the problem with this one is customer said that the vehicle overheated and he didn't know what was wrong. So he has no check engine lights or anything else like that. He said that he changed the thermostat just as a guess, and that didn't do anything. So he calls me up and he tells me the situation. So I said, hey, you know what, go out there, start the car, turn the AC on, see if the fans turn on. As soon as the AC compressor turns on, it basically defaults and the fans should automatically kick on regardless of the temperature outside and everything else. So he did that, told me the fans didn't come on whatsoever. So he drops it off. That's where we're at now. So I figured today we'll bring you guys along. We're gonna get the scanner hooked up to it. We'll run the test on the fans, see if we can manually or bi-directionally control the fans, make sure power's and ground, signal, all that good stuff, and then we'll go from there. So let's go. Alright, so let's get in here. So we have, if you can see it now, we have 147,382, and again it's Lincoln. Let's see if I can do this here. Let's find Lincoln. This is a 2010. Let's see if it'll auto ID itself. It should, yeah. 2010 Lincoln MKX 3.5 liter V6. It's a front wheel drive. And let's just see if there's anything. He says he's got no check engine lights, but sometimes there'll be codes set with no lights. So let's see if there's any pending codes. No codes present. Any memory codes? Okay, so we have a 480 engine misfire detected on startup. Not gonna worry about that one. So we got a 480 cooling fan 1 control circuit. So 480. Well, we know the fans don't turn on when the AC is on. Matter of fact, let's just make sure. Let's do that check ourselves, just in case it wasn't done correctly or whatever the case may be. AC's on. It's fully cold. It's kind of cold outside this morning, so AC's already blowing cold. Come over here. Look down at the fans, and they are not spinning. Nope. So this is, get some light in here. This is your engine cooling controller fan, controller module. There's a little computer that controls that. So we have to make sure, check our fuses, make sure we have power and ground and signal going to this control module. So let's do that. So we have no fan. Alright, so what we can do here is we can see if we can bi-directionally control the fans. So we'll go to functional test, and we'll see if we have a radiator fan. Of course we don't have anything we can test these. Oh man, I wonder if I should go get my other scanner. Yeah, let me check my other one. Let me see if I can do it with the other one, because obviously this one's not gonna let us check the control. So we have a P0480 code too. So let me go get the other one. Alright, so I got my launch here all hooked up. Of course my $1,500 launch can control this versus my $4,000 Snap-on. Doesn't even have that type of function. Anyways, so I went ahead real quick, and hopefully you guys can see this. Went ahead and pulled a wiring diagram for this cooling fan. This is a cooling fan module, which is that box that's part of the actual fans. So here, battery junction box. So F5, it's a 60 amp. We have to make sure that we have power on this violet and gray wire. We have to make sure that this fuse, which is hot at all times, we have to make sure that that fuse is not blown. And then we have to make sure this, it looks like it's a 3-wire connector. It looks like this is the power, comes from the battery, the junction box or the fuse box. There's a ground, which is ground G106. We have to make sure that ground or to the connector is okay. And then this white with blue wire that comes from the PCM, because the PCM is what controls the fan that turns on, and it's a variable fan, so it has the ability to control its speed. It's just not on and off, on and off. It actually controls it. And then obviously you have your power that goes to both your fans, and then your ground that goes back, and it's all controlled off of this controller, this cooling fan module. So let's check powers and grounds, and let's check this signal. We could even have a broken wire from the controller to the PCM, which is going to be the connector C175B. Well, if you guys can see that, and it's pin number 48. So we have to make sure we have good continuity between this wire here, and if we do, more than likely we just have a bad cooling fan module. And I believe this module is part of the entire fan assembly. So just real quick here, 175 C175 Baker. So I printed up this one here. This gives you all the connectors numbers, and this is C175 Baker, which is going to be the big connector on the PCM, which I hope you can see it, which is this one right there. So it's pin number 48. So let's check our powers and grounds first. Make sure we check the fuse, check our powers and grounds. So that was a 60 amp. F5. Let's see if I can get you guys closer in here. So of course, Ford does not give you a diagram. F5 60 amp. These are all just numbered. This is 5, but that's a 40 amp. Is there any 60 amps? There's no 60 amps. Well, let's see here. Sure it's a 60 amp? Yeah, it's a 60 amp. Am I at the right fuse box? Yeah. Let me just make sure I have the correct wiring diagram. My bad. Alright, so I printed both the wiring diagrams out, and I just happened to grab the wrong one. So it's always good to go back and make sure, double check your work, even if you're sure. But I actually grabbed the wrong wiring diagram, and this one is without trailer tow. This one's with trailer tow. And they're essentially, hope you can see this. They're the same thing, but they have two fuses in the junction box. Fuse F5 and F6, which are 40 amps, not just one fuse. It's just 60 amp. So that's where, again, I printed both of them out, but don't need that anymore. That's junk. All right, let's go back in there again. One more time. So F5, S6 are 40 amps. So F5, S6 are right here. So there's 5 and 6. Hopefully you guys can see that. 5 and 6. Next to the big relay that's missing, or not installed, I should say, not missing. So 40 amps, so they're both good. So we know at least our fuses are good. Our J case fuses are going to be good. So we don't need that. So we're done here. So this, I can't believe I did that, made that mistake. But that's what we're gonna do. So now, if I can get you guys in here, if I can or not, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get to this cooling fan module. I'll get you guys set up a little bit differently, but we'll see if we can maybe make some room here. See if this thing comes out. Nope. Alright, so I got the air box out of the way. I got the mass airflow sensor just plugged in so that way I don't get a check engine light for a circuit on the mass airflow. This is our cooling fan control module. These are, you know, obviously powers and grounds to each of the fan. And then, so we have a purple wire, black wire, and I'm assuming this is going to be your computer control signal wire. So we have to make sure we have power on the purple, ground on the black, and then a signal wire when you start the car. I don't know if we're going to do that or not, or at least we'll just check it bi-directionally and see if we get any signal out of this into this wire, into this module. So we'll get set up our fluke meter here. We'll lightly back probe that purple wire. Hopefully you guys just trust me on this one. I don't know if I can show you, but let's get a good ground here. Let's get a good ground. Oh yeah, let's go off battery ground. The battery's right here. Make sure we got 12 volts. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the key back on. The key's on. Oh, wires everywhere. So, see if you can see that, right? Hopefully you guys can see that. It's my little meter I've had for, I don't know, almost 20 years probably. So I hit the battery. Battery's giving me 11.74. So I'm gonna back probe this purple wire. Guess I could just unplug it, but let's see if we get anything out of this thing. Come on, give me something. You know, I already have a circuit code, so let's see if we can just unplug it. How do we unplug it? Alright. Let's get my thing back up here. So let's see, purple wire. We got power. Okay. Let's see if we have a ground now. Switch my connectors to my positive battery. And then we have a ground. Yep, same thing. So we know we got good positive power and ground. And then on the, what's that, yellow with blue stripe? Yep, right there. See if we can control it, see if we get any fluctuation out of it. And if I hit on now, hold on a second. Try this again here. Fan control. Let's go on. On. There's a controller fault. So I guess what we can do, let's plug this thing back in. I might not run the test because it's unplugged. I don't know if I can get in there. I'm at the poke a wire. I really want to do that, but let's see if I can slightly poke this on. Let me see this at a data stream. Let's see, cooling fan fault. Let's see if we get anything out of this. Make sure we have a good. So I'm losing a little little bit of power here, but I'll just poke a wire and then I'll go back in and fill it back in. So I got 9.5 volts on. So see, it just shut it off. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. Hopefully you guys saw that. So if I go off, right there, it kicked it back on. Because remember, it's a this is a variable, so the amount of voltage coming through here is going to be variable. So it looks like we have a bad cooling fan control module. Let's call it, see if we can order one. Or we make sure that obviously we were getting signal down to the connector, and so what I ended up doing was I front probed or whatever the signal wire, and then I went up here to the PCM. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have a good continuity, basically that this wire in this harness all the way down through to the cooling fan module. Make sure that wire is not busted. So it's pin number 48. So I got this on, you know, the alarm or the continuity set, and we're going to lightly touch this one. And let go, touch it again. So that means that the wire, the little terminal that I'm touching here, is the same wire that connects to the cooling fan control module. So we know we don't have a broken wire. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out the cooling fan. The assembly, it comes as one whole assembly. So we're gonna change out the entire unit. Plug this thing back in, and that's it. So I'll bring you guys back when I get the fans in. Alright, so much later in the daytime, I'm finally getting around to tearing these fans out. The fans are on their way now. So what I did first was I just pulled the drain plug on the bottom of the radiator just so I can drain some fluid. We got to take off this upper radiator hose. We got to remove it out of the way. And then there's just a harness that comes across. Got two little 8mm bolts, and it should just lift right up. So just go ahead and do that. If that gives you an idea of what I'm looking at. So this harness has to come up. One. One more right here. So get that out of the way. Let's get this hose clamp, the radiator off. It's a special, you know, hose pick, screwdriver, I guess you call it. Just kind of get up underneath there. Just trying to break the seal. There we go. So now we got the harness loose. We got the radiator hose up out of the way. Get a little 8mm. It's got two top bolts on each side. It's got one bolt inside. There's one. Let's go over here. If we're good, let's take this off. This little bracket that holds a housing for the the air filter off. Alright, this thing should just lift up and come out. If we have enough room. So now the old one's out. Now wait for the new one to come in. Alright. The new fans just showed up. See if I can get this new fan in place without too much grief. Jeez. That one's in. That one's in. That one in. This bolt in. We'll plug in. We'll plug in the fans. Turn the key on. And see if we can run a test on the fans. Alright, so I got the fans in. Before I kind of put everything back together, I want to make sure that this cooling fan test runs off the launch. I just have the harnesses here, just kind of plugged in. Keys on. I'm gonna bring everything back up. That was kind of hard to see, but so we got cooling fan driver fault. We're gonna bring that up. I don't know how much this you guys are gonna be able to see, but we have cooling. We have fan control off. Cooling fan driver fault, no fault. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit the test or the on button. The value is going to go to on. The fans, they take a while to spin up. So there you go. So now you have your fan controls on, your driver fault, there's no faults. Hit the off. Fans turn off, do exactly what they're going to do. I guess we can start and make sure it works with the AC. So right there, engine's running, compressor's on, fans are spinning. I think that's good. Let's finish it all back up. It's amazing how time flies. I started this job, I don't know, it was like 9:30 in the morning. It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon right now. So there you go, guys. That's how you find, fix, and repair a bad engine cooling fan control module that is bad. The Fords and the Lincolns, Fusions, pretty much all the 3.5 V6, 3.7s, they were all the same type of fan control setup. Ford been using this for a while. I don't know if they use it on their new vehicles now, but that's what they used to use, or that's what they did use. Hopefully you guys liked the video. Click the subscribe button, click the thumbs up. That way you guys get notified every time I fix a vehicle and push a video out. Remember guys, you keep breaking them, I'll keep fixing them. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.